Good evening, my name is Lorraine Moss. I was shocked to discover an article in the Yellow Advertiser on the 19th of May reporting auditors were currently investigating 16 cases of staff fraud at Havering Council.
Sorry, 16 cases of?
Staff fraud at Havering Council. The audit team completed 71 different cases between January 2010 and March 2011. It was reported that the following staff breaches were identified: abuse of older persons' finances, theft of monies, financial abuse of adult clients, timesheet fraud, falsification of records in the Finance and Commerce Department, misuse of Experian credit check reports, mismanagement of registration fees in the Social Care and Learning Department, non-compliance with recruitment process, abuse of training procedures and salary claims, abuse of flexi-time. The Council declined to comment on this article. However, on the very same day, a press release was issued to another local newspaper. A photo was published with the leader of the council and 3 cabinet members acting like buffoons on a zebra crossing in Hornchurch. In my view, this photo was inappropriate and basically highlights how out of touch this administration is with the residents of Havering. As a Havering Council taxpayer, I would like to know what Havering Council is doing to combat what appears to be a widespread problem with fraud within the council. Additionally, I am rather concerned that Havering Council has failed to publish the spending over £500 for the month of March 2011. However, you have managed to publish spending for January, February and April. Your website stated that due to administration problems, these figures would be published in May. It is now indicating June. What is so complicated about publishing your expenses for March? And can you please explain why this information is being withheld? Thank you for your time.
Well, there are a number of issues there, and I'm sure that Julian will pick them up because some of them are detailed. The report that comes forth to the audit panel has been a report on what we call whistleblowing within the council. It is a report, if it's the right one I'm talking about, the comments that you're making, I'll have to double check on that. It's a report that comes forth at every meeting, and it has done so for the last 4 years. So I was surprised when I read the Yellow Advertiser's report that they thought it was something new. It's not something new. It's something that, to my knowledge, has been going on for quite some time. We have to. No, because we have to actually, as a matter of law, and I get that checked, when someone actually does a whistleblowing, we have to tell people that it's a whistleblowing. What we don't do is we don't hide it under the carpet. What I actually do know is the vast majority of those whistleblowing cases are investigated by internal audit and, where necessary, external audit, and no case is proven. In fact, I can't remember the last time, I'll certainly ask my officers to check, the last time a case was actually proven of a serious nature. But I'll certainly look into that for you and certainly get my officers to look into that. You questioned the ability of the council. Well, little than, 12 months ago we had a thing called the local election, and that local election returned a administration with 33 members, with one of the highest votes that it's ever had. So I think that we as administration do have the confidence of our residents, otherwise they wouldn't have returned us for the 3rd time in a row. They would have elected somebody else. Well, no, I don't think so, because I'm going to have an argument with this, because, this is the 3rd time that it's managed to re-elect its councillors in the way in which it has, and this is the 7th year, getting on for the 8th year, almost, that I've become the leader of this council. Indeed, I've been elected for another 4 years, which means by 2014, when this term is up, I'll have been the leader for exactly 10 years, which is the longest serving leader that Havering has ever had. So I think that there is confidence in the council and confidence in the way in which we're running the council. In relation to the zebra crossing, I think the residents of Hornchurch are very pleased that we've been able to deliver a brand new zebra crossing there. It's something that's been called for some time, especially by the residents of Hornchurch and the library group. Yeah, thank you very much.
Are the school children using it rather than...
Well, actually, if you know that library, you would know that if you go there most evenings, it's actually full of school people doing their homework. and it's one of the highest users of that library in particular is for children actually who do that, and it's absolutely right that we should where we do something and we deliver something that residents want, it's absolutely right that we should pay attention to that. Otherwise, we'd be failing in our duty.
There is also a thing called humour block, because there is a thing called humour block, because things can be done in this world and people can still retain a sense of humour. We've delivered the pedestrian crossing, that's what the article's about, and the fact it's being publicised as a good thing. What's wrong with that? I wish I could see a problem with that.
Well, why not?
Why not?
I think it was
Why not have loads of school kids?
Going across. Well,
I think it was pretty bad.
if you've done for the school kids, it's not done for the councillors, is it?
Because it was done at 10 o'clock
In the morning, and they were all at school. And the last point, I do agree with you on the £500. I'm not happy that the computer system has failed to enable us not to publish that, but I'm making sure that every effort is being made to make sure that is back online as soon as we possibly can. But I would say that the £500 is important, but I think we as a council have a very good record. We were actually publishing our expenses and member salaries and chief executive salaries online before most other councils. Okay.
One moment. Councillor Kelly speaks about humour. Now, the evening before, I didn't come to the Arthur Cabinet, but I watched it via webcast and see families of vulnerable people whose day centres are being threatened with closure. Is it really in good taste? You know, we all like a bit of humour, but sometimes it can be inappropriate.
Well, I can tell you that up to what you've just said, you're the first person to mention to me that it wasn't seen in the light in which it was seen in and was being responded to in that light. But I'm sure people watching this webcast, I've not had people, it was carried in the Romford Recorder, and in other places it was carried in one or two other places.
So about its inappropriateness in last week's recorder.
Well, Councillor Barrett is the leader of the opposition. I'd expect him to do those types of things. Okay, Stephen, it's all right. Okay. Oh, go on, sorry.
I wanted to come back on the so-called closure of the day centres. We are reprovisioning them and moving them elsewhere and improving them, because actually you can't afford to run facilities in the borough, one of which had less than 50% capacity and the other two had less than 66% usage, with today's current financial stringencies, and just run them as half-empty buildings. And actually what's happened is the younger users of those three facilities don't use them anymore. They go to the other facilities that the council provides, and these are three of the older fashioned ones. And of the 9 people that were the one that was being discussed furthest was the first. Of the 9 people that's involved, 4 people have volunteered to go to the new improved site. So within a matter of weeks, people will be given the ability to move to a modern site with wide-ranging areas. They've taken it, and it's not closure. And that's the problem. It is a lack of understanding of things move on. Daycare service is not just about bricks and mortar, and that's the old-fashioned view. You've got to have a building, you've got to have daycare. What we've actually got is people going swimming, we've got people going on trips to places, we've got people with art classes, we've got people with woodwork, gardening, a whole range of activities that is actually aimed to give people a better life in the community and not just bricks and mortar. And it's a shame that it didn't come across as that, but that's the reality. It's a different world in daycare, and it's a better world. People actually are now doing things they want to do rather than being shepherded into old-fashioned buildings, and I make no apology for doing that at all.